Yes, hello. Sorry, I was having a drink of water there. I hope you're doing all right, everybody. Oh, look at that. I'm playing it twice. How good that music is. I hope you're doing all right, everybody. This is the last word. We are live. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. Sometimes I do these at the ground, but more or less home games. If it's a daytime kickoff, I'm trying to do more at home. One, for two reasons. Interactive views a lot. And secondly, it's a lot easier for me to get the video out quicker. So, Newcastle United have won. We're going to dissect the game. We're going to hear from Eddie Howe. And, of course, we'll have a little look at some stats at the end. Of course, you've got the live chat, which is also on screen. And Ian's just mentioning about Valdemade's goal celebration is likely to refer to the name. Valdemade itself isn't the name of the celebration, but it's a misremembering of his surname. Ian says, thanks. To AI, I think, and Lewis has gone out and says 40 months of memberships. Wow. And of course, you want to become a member of ours as well. It's only 99p. It's the cheapest on YouTube, so you can get exclusive videos. Matt's also in the comments there, even late, everyone. I hope you're doing all right. These coach journeys always easier after winning on a Saturday. Are you on your way up, like, to the women's mat? I'll see you tomorrow for the women's stuff. So let's get cracking then. Okay then. So after the international break, everybody's thinking, right, football is back, everybody. Let me just get some domestic football. Because obviously I've said already on video, I've been to non-league, I've been to the women's, just to keep my mind occupied. And there's nothing better than Premier League football, in my opinion. I absolutely love the return, hate the international break. I don't know how you feel about all of that, but I absolutely hate it. So the Premier League football was a welcome return. Now, obviously, you're facing Wolves, and you're thinking to yourself, do you know what? What's the one team that you would like to play for you to get a win? Would be the team that's sitting rock bottom with 0 points, as in Wolves. So you can't really ask for a better fixture, to be honest with you. So, as we're all starting to head into the turnstiles and what have you, we were all intrigued to see what the lineup was be. I was the most intrigued I've been so far this season. We'll obviously bring up those lineups just in a moment. Obviously, Arsenal won earlier on today. We will be checking up on the league table because there is still a game live as we are recording this. So, yeah, everyone was very much intrigued about the lineup then. Okay, then. So we got into the stadium. And yeah, it was just feels good to be back because it's been a while since we were the last time we were at St James's Park, if you remember. It was that Monday night game against Liverpool, of course, because we were away to Leeds last time out as well. And it says Lewis at the minute we're top of the table. We're definitely not. Josh is in the house. I've done a live stream earlier as well. I haven't even caught up with it yet, Josh. I will later on the night. So thanks for Josh doing the live match reaction. I hope you've enjoyed that. 1-0 Brentford, says Lewis. Bruno was brutal today. Yeah, it's coming up later on tonight because this is not the last video. We've still got scoring the players to come a little bit later. So as per usual, Jason Tyndall and Graham Jones takes the training, watching the players on, putting through the paces and just doing any last minute tweaks. Obviously, normally Eddie Howe is inside, normally with media and sometimes meeting the opposition manager. So those two were on the pitch doing that. And then, of course, it all began with the warm-ups. I love this bit, this part, for any of the audio listeners who are listening on the podcast. What is being described at the moment is when all the players come together just before they run into the tunnel, they run back and forth 3 times and then they run into the tunnel. I love this bit. I don't know why, it's my favourite part of the warm-up. Just maybe because I'm closer to it, perhaps, and you get a real sense that the match is about to kick off, because as soon as they run into the train into the tunnel, you're talking literally 10 minutes before kick-off. Okay then. So by that stage, we had already learned what the team news was. So let's bring it up on screen for you, everybody. So, of course, we all found out in Eddie's press conference that there was no Johan Visser, which I had already predicted that Valdemade would start regardless of that. The most interesting one is the man on screen, which is Jacob Murphy. That's the one I got wrong, so I got 10 out of 11 right. But I thought it would be Alanga who would start, and just keeping an eye on the bench. Of course, you've got a few options there. Lewis Hall, if you want to bomb on your fullbacks, and Alanga and so on. But yeah, great to see Joe Linton back. That was important for me, seeing him back in the squad, because I think he just brings something a little bit different to that midfield. Obviously, it's disappointing about Jacob Ramsey. He's going to be missing for at least another 3 to 4 weeks, which is disappointing, of course, in that. So you would think with Joe Willock getting some minutes today that he would be the next in line for that left side of midfield, whereas Miley's probably more central right-ish, I would say more so. But I was just buzzing to get into St. James Park, as I say, getting to kick off the flags. There wasn't a great deal by Wolf flags, probably because it's not a televised game, and you can see on your screen there at the top of the leads as Wolves, probably one of the highest that they've brought to St. James's Park. They don't normally bring a ton of fans, but that's probably one of the highest allocations that I've seen from Wolves. So fair play for them for making the journey, because it is, of course, a long way to come. Right, let's get going with the first half then. And to be honest with you, in that first half, it could have gone any other way. Yes, the stats will say that Newcastle had the most shots, etc. But realistically, you're talking literally 10 seconds in, Nick Pope has to pull off an unbelievable save. Again, I haven't even watched none of the goals or anything, or the saves, anything back yet. I haven't had the time to. And then only 3 minutes later, he's having a palm one to the side as well. And then Wolves had a chance shot just going wide. And then they had a golden chance with the header. And then now, if Jurgen Strand Larsen plays, that goes in. I'm telling you, that guy's in the back of the net. Newcastle aren't winning this game. I think he scores there, Jurgen Strand Larsen, if he's fit. Going up the other end, I remember Jacob Murphy with his left foot having a curler early on. He had a pal driver with his right foot just going wide. Johnson obviously saved from 6 yards out. I don't know how we didn't score there. Tino Livramento had a shot. Tino had a shot, which was easy saved by Johnson, to be fair. And then it was just a case of, right, can you go and nick it? Because the game was pretty open. There was a lot of chances in that first half. I'm going to play the celebration of the goal, and there is audio on this, so bear with us if you have got this on your speakers. Here is the goal. So Nick Woltemade puts Newcastle 1-0 up, and Murphy on the right-hand side whips it in, and there's Woltemade to score, of course, which is great for him. More on him a little bit later, but Newcastle 1-0 up. And in all honesty, when the goal went in, it was more of probably a relief because, as I say, Wolves were having so many chances in Newcastle. It was more or less, in all honesty, I feel going into half-time that Wolves probably feel a little bit hard done by, but you can see why in the final third, why they're bottom of the league. And I fear for Wolves a little bit. I really do. I can't really... I could see Wolves can do. I could. And I might change my mind about that. So, I don't know. But Wolves are struggling at the minute, and they feel a little bit gutted coming from that game because realistically, I know it was only half-time at this stage, but you're thinking yourself, Wolves should be in it. Going 1-0 down, they'll probably be disappointed in that. However, it is still only 1-0. Newcastle, I was saying to the couple of lads around us that we need that second goal because you now find well that it comes back and haunts if you didn't score that second. So at half-time, right, need that second goal, kill the game off, because Wolves aren't going to come here and score 2 or 3. They haven't got it in them. But obviously, thankfully, that never materialised, and we'll come at the second half in a minute, but we are going to pause, just read some of your comments out. Drop us the likes. We want some likes. Come on, all of this put together is a lot of hard graft, put it that way. All the clips I've edited for you. So drop us a like, that'll be wonderful. The challenge is Bruno is quite dangerous in my eyes. It could have gone either way, says Lewis. Again, I haven't seen it back. I know he's where he's rolling. Well, he was rolling around a few times afterwards, to be fair, and this was in the first half, wasn't it? Ian goes on to say, we're up and running, and I spy with my little eye a new star. Nick will be a monster under Eddie as well. And Lee, did Wolves manager and assistant manager get booked? Yes, there was a yellow card in the first half, but I can't remember who it was for. Again, I haven't had the benefit of watching any replays or anything back yet. I've just come home, start editing as I do. So half-time, you're thinking, okie then, go and get that second goal. But I'm not going to lie to you, second half, that was dreadful. That was a shit second half. From both sides, it was... I think if you are watching Match of the Day later, or if you're watching this after Match of the Day, I don't think they got to show much of that second half. I can't even remember Wolves testing Nick Pope. And yes, there was a free kick which hit Will Asula, which was his first touch, ironically. We had that Harvey Barnes chance in the second half where it was a great little interplay on the left-hand side and he tries to curl one with power and it goes way over. But that second half was awful, wasn't it? It was absolutely shocking. It was dreadful. Woltemade, ole. Yeah, he's got a new song, which is class, isn't it? It's brilliant. He's got a new song, and Joe Linton was pushed him in front as well. It's on this clip what we're going to come up to, but it was more of a case than right. Newcastle, you just see the game, win the game then, because it never looked like once the substitutions took place, and look, Joe Linton, that was planned for him to play just over an hour, and it was really good to see Joe Willock. Whatever you think of Joe Willock, he needed minutes because he's been on the bench the last couple of games. Then he's had to wait another 2 weeks with international break, so it's great to see Joe Willock. And I actually thought Willock was pretty bright, to be fair. And now he's got competition now with Ramsey, and now Ramsey's injured, but this season. So I thought he was bright. Will Asula didn't get it. Basically didn't get a touch. I think he got 2 touches, which was one, he blocked the free kick, and the other one down the other end, which I think hit him. So he was non-existent, to be fair, but Wolves were having a lot of the ball in the second half, but they didn't do anything. What save did Nick Pope had to do in that second half? So it was comfortable, but you're always a bit nervy, aren't you, with it being 1-0. But obviously we've seen Anthony Langa come on for Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes, by the way, was awful. And when you see scoring the players, you'll see the score that I give him, but I feel like I'm picking on him a little bit now. And I really, really like Harvey Barnes. But I feel like it's every game now I'm mentioning him. And I'm getting the point now I'm questioning myself again. Fucking hell, am I picking on him here? Because he's not performing so far this season. He's had 4 games. He's had 4 stinkers. And to be fair, Alanga didn't really have much time to impact the game when he came on left wing. He had 10 minutes. Stoppage time, 15, 16 minutes. So he didn't really have much impact. And then obviously Eddie Howe said, you know what? We're going to shut up shop. He brought Botman on in the dying couple of minutes or so just to try and see the game out, which worked, and Newcastle kept a clean sheet. So, which is class. 3 clean sheets in 4 games. When people want the defence change, I didn't. I mean, I would like to see Lewis Hall come in, but I went with Livramento on the whiteboard here behind us. That defence in that moment will be tested on Thursday night against Barcelona. We'll come to that later. But 3 clean sheets in 4 games, that's pretty impressive. And if you take the context out of the red cards against Liverpool, those goals that were conceded against Liverpool could be a lot less. We might even have kept another clean sheet. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Lewis says the referee didn't help either. Some of the decisions were going like, are you joking? And Matt says, yeah, said on Josh and Joe's stream earlier, Barnes had a chance to stake a claim on the left, but not even close to Gordon. Gordon comes in against Barcelona. He's not suspended for that. Straight into the left wing. Barnes, you'll get your chance against Bournemouth, and he needs to play well against Bournemouth because that's Gordon now free after that, and he has to perform. The thing is with Harvey Barnes, and I'm going to go on one here because he's such a form player. When it's going really, really well for him, you have to play him. You've got to put him in the starting lineup. But when it's going bad like it is, you've got to take him out because he's not even like middle ground. He's so bad. So that's probably a good thing for. I don't like saying that. It's probably a good thing that Gordon will come in. There's no doubt about it. Gordon comes in on Thursday night. That has to be. Chippers, Harry, mate. All that matters is the win today and now else. Yes, I do agree, 100%. Barnes was easily the worst player on the pitch as well. So stay tuned for scoring the players a little bit later. He was horrendous, says Josh. Drop us a like as well. So let's hear what Eddie Howe said about the game, Nick Woltemade, and those defensive records.
We needed to win today, and I think when you're managing, coaching, you can never put that demand on the team. I don't think it really helps. The players know you need to work out how you're going to do it, and I thought the players delivered a really strong performance in difficult conditions because Wolves were solid and made it very difficult for us. And it was a nervy end, and at 1-0 I think it was always going to be, but I'm just really pleased that we got that win. That's a massive moment in our season. Yeah, a great moment for Nick. I think I was very pleased with how he played today. You saw his qualities, his technical qualities that we've been discussing, his intelligence, But most importantly, for a striker, when the ball comes in the box, you need to be there. And he was today. It was a great finish. Really, really pleased for him personally, because that just settles him down and relaxes him. Very humble guy, wants to do well. He's delighted to be here. So I think it's a great start. Yeah, really pleased with how we've defended. I think even the Liverpool game, I conceded 3, but with 10 men, I thought we were really good. And we've had that resilient look about us again. Now, 4 games doesn't mean anything. It's a long season. We've got a lot of big games ahead, but certainly good signs for us. And it's not just the defending players, although they should rightly get a lot of credit. It is the team. That the team's functioning very well at the moment.
It is indeed. The team is functioning defensively very well. Obviously, as I say, 3 clean sheets in 4 games. Yeah, defensively we look really solid. And Nick Pope had a fantastic game. That's Nick Pope's best game of the season. As I say, who else played well? I thought Trippier was decent. The 2 centre-backs, class again. How many times have we mentioned Dan Burn and Fabian Schär so far this season? Class again. Tino Livramento's keeping Lewis Hall out at that left-back position. Snarly. Lungs. I'm just going to nickname him Lungs because he looks like he's got a third lung. The way he's just running around, but not just that, he's quality on the ball. Did you see the kickoff at half time where he just pings at the corner flag just to get all of us up? And a lot of Premier League teams are doing this now just to box the team in. Just nailed it, spot on, literally on the corner flag. It was class. He was brilliant today as well. Woltemade got his goal. I think there's more to come. I don't think I'm like, wow, what a player. It's not like that. Let's not overhype it. I thought he did well in spells, and he got the goal, which is important. Strikers are all about stats. Got the goal, which is class. And whether this has free or not on to play, whether his injury on Thursday, Valdemar start again for me. Surely you kind of change that. Maybe Bournemouth, you might bring Visser in. But we'll have to wait and see. But let's have a look what users saying. Lee says, oi, oi. New guy getting his debut. Yeah, Matt says, 3 clean sheets out of 4. I was thinking Chow or Botman might come in, but it'd be risky to change a successful back 5. Do need to test Chow in the Premier League soon, though. Matt, that might happen Bournemouth. I can't see any of that back 5 change unless there's an injury or a fitness doubt on Thursday. I think it'll be the same. Then you might take a couple of changes to Bournemouth. Bournemouth are flying at the start of their season. We'll check the league table out very shortly. I think Wolves were awful. They never looked like scoring. Disagree in the first half because obviously I've got Valdemar in the brain. Right in the beginning, they had 2-3 chances, so they could have. But apart from that, Chippers, I'll agree later on. Tonali was epic today. I thought Bruno lost the ball way too often, says Nick. I agree. Ian says, I can't help but get hyped about Nick. He has literally every quality you would want. And Chipper says, I can see 5 defenders playing in the next 2 games. Okie dokie. So, do you know what? Let's have a look at some of the fans, because I reckon all the fans that are heading out of St James's Park will be pretty happy with just getting 3 points, as Chip has just mentioned there. It was just about getting 3 points now, because you might want, it depends which way you look at it. Obviously, we'll look at the league table in a minute, but you might look at the start of the season that it's only 1 defeat in 4. Or you might look at it and think, well, it's only 1 win in 4, but you've got a couple of draws in it. Are you half empty glass? Are you half full? It depends where you are. I like to look at the positive side, that it's 1 defeat in 4. So a lot of those fans there will be heading out to the Stack, to the city centre, to bars, back M, or wherever they're going, the misses, or back to work, or whatever everyone's up to. I think Newcastle fans will be happy that they've got 3 points. We've played better early in the season. Leeds game was poor. I don't think this was particularly brilliant. We've played better against Liverpool with 10 men. We've played better against Aston Villa without a shadow of a doubt. But as I say, we just needed them 3 points, to be honest with you. So let's have a look at the good old share screen facility. I want to go through some of the stuff with Newcastle United. This was a full time where Kieran Trippier, I keep an eye on Anthony Gordon, even though he's not playing. Anthony Gordon on this is actually thanking every single person. So I like that. That shows that he's amongst the squad. And yes, it's been stupid in the past with a couple of daft... Look, the twins, aren't they? Gordon and Nick Valdemar. He's been daft with a couple of red cards and stuff, but I love that with Anthony Gordon. And then we scroll up there, he is happy as Larry. Nick Johnson's obviously done... Nick Johnson. Because Nick's in the comments. Nick Valdemar has done all the match of the day. If you're watching that tonight, he's on that. He's done the BBC, he's done the club, he's done national as well. So great. Snarly, another picture of him. What an effort for him. The squad photo every time you win, which is class. Obviously, you've got the kit the kit man, you've got the squad, you've got the physios, Kieran Trippier, he must have just jumped in the shower there. So yeah, obviously the team, which is class. Where's Eddie Howe hiding? He is here somewhere. Tyndall, of course, centre middle. There'll be a joke in there somewhere, won't there? I can't even see Eddie. Where's Eddie Howe in here? Where are you, Howe? Where are you hiding? There he is, right at the back. Right at the back. There he is. Next to Anthony Gordon, class team photo. Nick Woltemade.
Start as a home game, and I scored a goal. We won the game. Can't be better.
If you want to listen to all of that, because I'm conscious of copyright, because there is one or two American channels that are nicking the club's content, and the club are watching it. We don't want to play too much of that because we don't want to be in trouble. Obviously, Eddie Howe speaking there, so if you want to see more of that, you can have a look at the club's media stuff there. The Valdemaris, obviously, celebration for the W, which is class in his long sleeve shirt, which is great. And Jacob Murphy, and that's literally just come through there. Nick Pope, as I say, fantastic. His best performance so far this season, without a shadow of a doubt. We'll have a look at a couple of the stats then, shall we? So this graphic that you can see here, the yellow means the tune, and the dark, bright silver, dark white, bright silver, is basically the match momentum, where it's going. And obviously, as you say, first half, in particular, the first period of the first half, it's quite even. And then Newcastle then dominated, got the goal. Wolves come back towards the end of the half, and then Newcastle had a lot of the momentum of the ball. But Wolves did have a lot of the ball. I don't think that graphic really shows you, because they didn't really do much with it. Possession, Newcastle 56. XG is not a stat, that's just a predicted stat. 16 shots against Wolves, 8, so it's double. So these stats do look like they're favouring Newcastle a lot, but as I say, in the first half, I thought Wolves could have quite easily scored 2 or 3. And the XG is only saying that they expected to score half a goal, whereas Newcastle was 1.5. So Newcastle are winning all the stats. But do you read much into those stats? I don't know. Some of you might be some stat gurus, but the Premier League table currently, the Chelsea game, Brentford, the West London derby, but Newcastle are sitting in 10th place currently at the minute. So we've moved up. If we just scroll towards the bottom, obviously Wolves rock bottom. Aston Villa haven't even scored. I seen a stat earlier that in the top 7 divisions in England, Aston Villa are the only team not to have scored. That's quite incredible. They've lost every game. Well, sorry, they've drew or lost every game. They haven't even scored. They either drew 0-0 or lose 1-0. So there you go. West Ham, obviously, they got a win. A good 3-0 win against Forest, but obviously they're back in the relegation zone. Man City, obviously, they've got the game. They'll come up. Obviously, Ange Postecoglou in his first game got beat today. Man United sitting in mid-table. But Newcastle are up to 10th, which is better, isn't it? Let's be honest. But as I say, you've got Bournemouth on the horizon. Look at them. 3 wins out of 4 games. That's going to be a tough away fixture, especially after the Champions League game against Barcelona. So it's going to be tough on that Bournemouth game. You might be... we'll just take a point from that, because we haven't got a great record doing Bournemouth, to be honest with you. But let me know how you feel about that then. Tonali was epic. He was. I can see 5 defenders. Ian says we must needed the win. It feels like the season starts now. It has. It's a great win. And keep the likes coming, lads. Yeah, drop us a massive like for the effort. I hate blank streams. I like to make it a lot of graphics for the viewers and make them feel interactive by seeing the comments on the live chat rather than not reading them out. So if I miss them out, at least you get to see them on screen. And I think given the context of everything Josh says, a point against Bournemouth would be a plus. I want to win, of course. But if you offered it now, would you rather win against Barcelona or you rather win against Bournemouth? I'm picking Barcelona because the history with obviously Kenny Dalglish when he was in charge, and of course Bobby Robson, the Barcelona games, which were class. We will talk more about them next week, of course. The last thing I want to cover is I spotted this going into the stadium, because this is completed across the road. You're thinking, well, what's that? Just a piece of tarmac opposite the stack. Is it? Is it just some tarmac? What is that for? A lot of people seem to still don't know. Do any of you know? The video will pause. I'll just actually let it pause. for a second. So you can see across the road there. And if so you can see if I just go back a little bit and just replay that. So some people are speculating that that could be foundations laid to pull the Gallagher out. Or my idea that I think that could be for is that might be for some more opportunities for things like fan zone areas, potentially. And, like more burger vans and more choices and stuff like that, because that gives the club more revenue, potentially, if that is the case. Look, we're still waiting to hear what's going on, of course, with the stadium. Whether we're having a brand new one or an extended one. So there is a couple of speculation with that land across the road there. But obviously David Hopkinson was also there today at St James's Park, and he was meeting a few of the fans. It'll be interesting to see if he's at the women's game tomorrow, which we're covering for you on both of our channels. So it's non-stop all the way. Ian just thinks it's chalk. Aye, it could be Ian, could be black chalk. Just, maybe someone just got on for the middle of the night and just drew it all on. Aye, maybe it was a bet. Who knows? Rethan, you got to put a $5 on Tino for hat-trick against Barcelona. Tino Livramento as well. Busy period, Barca home, Bournemouth away, Bradford home, Arsenal home. We'll take a point at Bournemouth. Tricky team for us like Brighton. Always Barcelona, says Ian. Are you surprised Hall didn't get any minutes today, Chip? As I am. If I was surprised, I initially said on the whiteboard video the other day, I thought that Hall would be coming on regardless, whatever the scoreline is. And then you bring Trippier off and you move Livramento over there, and that'll give Lewis Hall a little bit more minutes. But yeah, I am surprised. I kind of like it. I thought that would be made a change, but maybe Eddie Howe and Tyndall and the coaching staff maybe seen something that we don't as fans. Who knows? That they didn't want to change that left back because maybe Livramento was doing so well and Trippier were. To be honest, the defence, I'll give you a clue. The defence scored pretty high on scoring the players a little bit later. Oh, then. So, if I was to score that as general, I'll give that a 7 out of 10 performance today for me. We got 3 points. That's all that matters for me. And as I say, there is another video coming up later on the night, which is scoring the players, so get involved in that. And then tomorrow, we have all the women's stuff from vlogs to last word to interviews, you name it. There'll be 3 or 4 videos tomorrow. And keep an eye on all the shorts as well. We'll be putting a lot of shorts out across both of our channels as well. Right, we're going to love yous and leave yous. We'll see yous very soon here on Newcastle Fans TV. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. That's an order. Take care. Ta-da. Bye-bye.